Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Rao Kulusu. I'm coming to you live on multiple channels. Um, Today, Clubhouse is also included, and you can also have it on me. You can have me on Wisdom and uh, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Right. So uh, I have the facility, so I'm using it to hopefully reach maximum people that I could do in one sitting. And the topic today is something I was discussing in another room with my friend about happiness. Is it out there? Is it out there in the things or in our achievements, or is it in us? And so there is no problem seeking happiness, but it's the problem where we are looking for it. Obviously, a lot of people are convinced that it is in some things, some of the achievement, some of the accumulation of wealth, and they want to go and hold that and keep it there, and they have the psychological security because of the things, and thereby they really think that the happiness is out there. But my life experience, my understanding of a yogic folklore has told me, has shown me that it is the happiness is always within us, the contentment, the satisfaction, and also the real joy is always within. And if you can really not block it with all your thinking, all your activities of outside, then you will allow it to shine and come through you. This is what I understood. That's why I thought I will talk to you about that. You know, my friends were talking about the same thing in a different way, so we were discussing that at that level. For example, one of my friends was saying she was pursuing some things, and then every time she achieved something, she had to find something else. That is a natural thing, right? We all want something more than what we have, and thereby we're unhappy about that. In the pursuit of achieving something, we are always happy. But once we achieve the goal, it looks like it doesn't matter anymore. It is not worth it, and we want to go for something else. So even Viktor Frankl wrote about this. He said, your happiness is always in the pursuit of something bigger than yourself, and that pursuit itself gives you that happiness, and not in the goal itself. You know, so many people, thinkers, sages, and yogis, and rishis, and all these people always talked about that inner bhandar, that means treasure that is there, and we are not able to reach that, and that's why we're always pursuing outward things. Ramana Maharshi clearly said that too. He said there's no problem somebody wanting to be happy, but it is a problem when they look for it outside of you, and when the actual happiness is within you. You know, so I am going to invite my friends to come up and contribute to this discussion and participate in this and tell me what it means to you. There's nothing wrong here, outside or inside. It all depends upon your life experience, your understanding of life. There's so many things depend on that, right? So I would welcome people to come up and participate in this discussion. Tell me your experience, your viewpoint, your understanding of this whole subject. This is a big deal because when I was growing up in India, even then, ancient Indians may have said happiness is within, but most of the upbringing that I had gone through was like you have to search for happiness outside of yourself, in your studies, in your achievements, in your jobs and businesses, in your wealth, in your relationships, in your accomplishments, all that, right? So we were always told to pursue happiness. Come to this country, that's multiplied. Most of the time they were saying you got to pursue happiness, you got to do some things to get the happiness and all that. But then a lot of people who have a lot of wealth and a lot of people who have enjoyed everything in their life, they come up with a void within, and they cannot get rid of it as it goes into the old age. So we see that quite often with a lot of people, right? So I was focusing on that too. Then I came across these studies and the yogic folklore where all these very very big accomplished people that were they accomplished them after they found this treasure of happiness and contentment within, founding that fulfillment which is forever and the contentment forever. They march on life producing remarkable achievements in literature, in sculpture, in arts, being a ruler, kingdoms, and all that, right? So these people have always turned inward and found that contented self within themselves. That is what I was very impressed about. And the more we look at it, the more it seemed like that is so. You know, so that is what happened. I think somebody wants to join me on the clubhouse. I would invite him. Hello there. Hi, Rajiv. How are you? Sure. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yeah, yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Rajiv, Paul is there on the Wisdom app. You go ahead and talk, and Paul, I'm coming to you after Rajiv. Okay. Rajiv, go ahead. No, no, on the Wisdom app. On the Wisdom app. I opened up. Yeah. No problem. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about whatever you want to say. That's fine. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. See, my viewpoint on that, Rajiv, lot of psychology, lot of analysis is based on thought, whereas a lot of ancients around the world, not only in India, they looked beyond the thought into the conscious being, and really realizing that conscious being not by thought which goes outward, but by intuitive feeling, they realize that. So that slight difference. That's why positive psychology has evolved now, because this analysis, these theories by one person, it could be Jung or it could be Freud, it could be Maslow, that stops at that level of thought. That is the viewpoint of people who are working on the consciousness now. And if you go and study the ancients, that is so. Lots of times people are not able to be in that state and understand understand that at that level. But all these theories are like so many theories in mathematics, but then basic will be there, then advanced. Like that, psychology also, Maslow and all those people have their theories which are applicable to some extent, but then we can go beyond that too. Nowadays, the consciousness is really examined like it is the root cause. It is not that we have consciousness in the mind. That's the difference between the Eastern perspective and the Western perspective. I mean, everybody can uh, realize their truth on their own. There's nothing like we are right and they are wrong, or they are right and we are wrong. Nothing like that. Yeah, Rajiv had a very beautiful explanation of Maslow and his experience. Paul, on Wisdom app, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Good to talk to you again.
Good.
I just was thinking as you were talking in the introduction that I've been going through this as well, and you know, my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
And one of the things I've been having a struggle with obtaining
Hmm.
is what you're saying, the happiness, because
Yeah.
a lot of times I think, and this is where I thought in your speech,
Hmm.
is that I think that a lot of us confuse
Yeah.
um, contentment or I had another word and I forgot what it was, but we confuse the completion of a goal
Yeah.
as that's when I'm happy,
Yeah.
and it's we tend to do that
Yeah.
like you were saying outward.
Yeah.
Um, we link it to the outward effects,
Yeah.
and it really goes back. I'm finding what you talk about on here is really a lot connected
Hmm.
to what you were saying earlier this week about meditation, slowing down, examining
Yeah.
yourself, and also that you are not the body, you are not
Yes.
the brain,
Mm-hmm.
but you are using those as tools. And that, when you bring that into this circle of talk,
Mm-hmm.
then it kind of clarifies that the happiness is inside.
Yes.
And it's not the accomplishments we do, though those can bring a satisfaction. That's the word I was looking for earlier.
Very good.
Bring
Very good.
satisfaction to
Yeah.
it.
I think Paul
But
brings in a
happiness.
very good point, Paul. Yeah. Let me explain a little bit more of what was the status of ancients and what is the status of us in the present context, right? They viewed this inert body and racy thought um, are couple of layers around our being, so it becomes a fundamentally different of what we are from their point of view and our point of view, right? So we may have, like Rajiv was mentioning, like we need to have the food, shelter, and security, like that, clothing and all the basic needs and all that. But that is only how to live, how to make a livelihood and all that, but really knowing the deeper truths. Who are we? Where did we come from? Where are we going? What is death? Is there life after death? There are these fundamental questions that they explored, and in the process of exploration, with meditation, they calmed the superficial mind. They minimize their needs, and lots of them really went about asking for food from somebody else that they considered as honorable thing, because they are illuminating the minds of the people who are giving them this they call it bhiksha, that is like a begging, we call it. We may have a continuation of this is not good, people have to work for their own bread, but then their thing is they were able to turn inward and sit there days and months and all that, were able to control the movement of thought, and then the revelation of the inner being was shown to them, like they call Swayam Prakash, self-luminous, that is there within all of us, because we are occupied by the external mundane things all the time. We don't have the capacity or the inclination to turn inward with our being there. That is the point. So how they looked at life, how they looked at the constitution of the body, mind, and also soul was so much different compared to what we do modern. We are always turning our intellect outward, our senses outward. So for us, life is all outward. Very few people, unless they were stricken by some tragedy or some extraordinary joy, they don't really experience the quality of inner life that the ancients had experienced and produced all this wonderful wisdom that we are not able to assimilate with us. You see, that's why there is a little bit deeper understanding of that makes it easy to really see what they're talking about, and then finding it within ourselves. That cannot be done if we are always oriented with our senses, with our intellect, always outward. That is the modern thing. It's okay as far as we are doing the objective data for the science, but then human beings are not just objects. They have this inner dimension, right? That is subjective. So you cannot study something subjective just as an object. That subject is the being and the self that has the tools of body and mind. Once you come to realize that, once the mind settles down, then you are settling down in the deeper, very calm, peaceful, and joyful. They call that Sat Chit Anand. That means existence, consciousness, and joy, bliss. Existence itself is the consciousness, and consciousness and that itself is the peace, that itself is the joy. So, did I make it clear, Paul?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I do understand that, and
Yeah.
I do appreciate you taking the
So, they always invited, turn that mind inward and feel, and with your intuition, realize who you are. A lot of people really feel that they have this instinct of this, but they cannot maintain that because external life is so demanding, external always inviting. But the real thing comes up when you really get out of that and then really sit down and focus yourself inward. So that's what I wanted to bring about. It's not like a theory. It's not like a knowledge or anything. It's like a just feeling the self that's already within. And that's why they said, just be yourself. For that, you have invented so many religions, so many faiths, so many creeds, and all that. But actually, to be ourselves is very simple. If you only don't have this chatter in your mind and so many ailments of the body, then you can really turn inward and find out, okay, this is what it is. And then once you feel and establish yourself, then you can see the movement of thought very clearly, and you can also have the thought stop a little bit, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what I wanted to present, and I thought Rajiv brought in a very good point, and Paul also pointed in a very good point, and I was able to explain a little bit more. So I may feel something, but doesn't mean that is the own experience of everybody. But it has to be verified by your own understanding, your own experiential knowledge. That means you should have had this experience inside you, and that validates. Not like we just read somebody and then that is the ultimate. It's not like that at all. In our own experience, that may differ completely. In my experience, what I was saying is when I turned inward, found that contented, satisfied, serene, peaceful, joyful self, everything changed. You know, the struggle is not anymore outwardly, and you go and do things much better, and you establish yourself in that self, and you also identify everybody else is the same at that level, and we are all actually only one self. That is what the science and physics are also telling us now, that we are all in one energy. But now it's not a theory anymore. You can actually feel that everybody is in you and you are in everybody life. It's not like a metaphysical game or something, but it's a subjective feeling that you can realize that. And then you don't want to go against anybody because you can see they are also part of you. There are no others. They said it was very good statement to listen to, but do you actually feel it? Do you actually bring it into your life? That's where I had to struggle. And then once it dawns on you, it becomes such a nourishing thing actually. And also you can pursue the other things because you want to do them, not because they are going to fulfill you when you complete them, that kind of thing. So you can do the job very well because you're going to help to the world, or do whatever is important, and you enjoy doing that, and also you don't expect anything in return. That is I just wanted to present this orientation towards inward being, and really understand that it is in our grasp. The only thing is we have to unlearn some things that we have learned, and we have learned some new things that we are not neglecting or not paying attention to. That kind of thing. Okay. I see Tiffany there. I know her. Tiffany, Wendy. I think I know both of them. Tiffany, you want to come up? I'll be happy to talk to you. I haven't seen you for a long time. Okay, she's comfortable sitting there. That's fine. But there are a lot of people on app also. If anybody wants to come up and pose questions on this, I'll be happy to. So, yeah, Tiffany is coming up, so I'll talk to her. Hi, Tiffany.
Yes, Dr. Rao, good evening. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Happy Friday.
Yeah, you too. I haven't been to Clubhouse that much, but Benson, my friend, he's also here. I hope he will come up. So I haven't seen Benson also in a long time. Um, so what do you think about topic, Tiffany? Do you have any?
Well, I heard that you mentioned about the energy,
Yeah.
And that's energy medicine is something I'm starting to learn a lot about because it's very relevant.
Yeah.
Because the healing from Lyme disease right now.
Yeah, that's very true because I was just teaching my son an energy breathing that we can all do in the middle of the day. Like what you do is you take a deep breath through the nose, and then when you're breathing out, just pucker your lips and forcibly breathe out. And after you have expelled all them, then make more effort to expel the air, and then you will feel the energy coming up right away. That's a simple exercise, but that is true. There is so much of energy wasted in our unnecessary thoughts, feelings, emotions, and all that. But I think Benson also talks about this energy all the time. Benson, you want to come up and participate? So tell me more about that, Stephanie. What do you feel that energy? Are you happy because your energy is preserved and you are pumped up?
Well, I'm doing bee venom therapy for Lyme disease, and
Mm.
I do a certain type called Japanese Hoshindo. So we sting my meridians,
Mm.
my acupressure meridian lines, and
Yeah.
it's really transformed my treatment.
Very good.
And there's a practitioner who's very famous in the Lyme community who wrote a book this year called Energetic Diagnostics, and he talks all about his name is Dr. Neil Nathan, but he talks all about energy medicine
Ah.
and how he believes it's going to be the future of medicine. So I think we're on the brinking verge of this, and it's very, very just fascinating to me.
Yeah, it is there, Tiffany, but it is not brought up by a lot of people because what happened was in yoga, the nadis, that the channels of energy were mentioned. There are 72,000 nadis in our system, right? And there are also meridians in Chinese, the same kind of nadis, they channel, right? In yoga, they call nadi. In Chinese, they call meridians.
Wow.
Yeah, so same thing. And then also, if you take the modern endocrinology, all nadis come and join at the hypothalamus pituitary area. You know, that's why when you do the Shambhavi Mudra and all that, you focus your vision on that spot. Between the eyebrows, just above on the forehead, you focus on that. Okay, that's where the center is there. And energy manipulation is one thing. Other thing is there is a lot of energy depletion happens on a daily basis for us. Once you understand where the and stop the depletion, then you can really preserve a lot of energy. Also, you can improve the energy too. Like for example, I tell people, be in awareness, don't have unnecessary thoughts, only the thoughts that are needed for the job you do, and focus on that. Then you will not have to vagabond with the thought because they go all over, right? And also unnecessary thoughts coming up because thoughts go into subconscious and unconscious, and they come up as they call them samskaras in Sanskrit. So just by understanding the mechanism of thought and making that as an instrument, not as something that is ruling over you, because a lot of people cannot know how to stop the thoughts or how to control the thoughts, how to slow them, none of it, right? But once you understand that, like I am always in awareness, and then use the thought. That means doesn't go wherever it wants to go. So that is a very replenishing for me energy wise, and that's why even though I'm working from morning till evening, I don't get really tired in that sense. you know but a lot of my friends are they're exhausted because they are irritable, they are impulsive, they are kind of worry about things unnecessarily, or recall things that happened years ago and leave them here. All that contributes to the depletion of energy. I mean, what you are doing, the meridians, the manipulation, that's all okay. But then understand the origin, the origination of the energy, and try to stop the depletion. That's all. It's like a one big box, all the energy is in one thing, and you don't want to let it go out of you, and then you use that whatever you have in a proper way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're saying to conserve the energy of the body
Yeah,
throughout the day.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that makes sense.
yeah, because the each thought conserves so much of our energy, and we don't pay attention to that. So what I
Right.
what I am saying is, be in awareness, and then use the intellect and all that in a way that you want to use it with your control, rather than people think, oh, everything is arising in me unconsciously, everything happens by itself, and thought has this network and all that, right? That's all true.
Right.
But then we can be conscious. Just start by being that. Be conscious of whatever you are doing, and then you will identify, hey, I'm thinking rather linearly now. I'm not thinking all over, and I'm thinking according to what I am doing or what I am talking, what I'm feeling, and all that. So that kind of overview really gives you an idea about how to conserve the energy much more. Then you will find that you are not really tired that much.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So you're excuse excuse me. You're saying focus on the thoughts and what we're thinking about.
Yeah, yeah. Unnecessarily they go on. So you can control that with a little bit of understanding, little bit of how to really avoid all this thinking that goes on all the time unconsciously, right? And people will get used to that. There is a big problem with this. There is an example for me with my sister. She is now 80-year-old. I happen to talk to her on these philosophical matters quite often, and now she understands all of that. But then she had been allowing her thinking go all over the place for a long time. Now, when she trying to do it, they found their own neuronal path, right? Their own circuits. That's why it is so difficult for her to be quiet and not able to think anything, you know.
I
And
got you.
yeah, so it's a danger because the neuroplasticity shows us. Suppose you do one particular movement, there is a neural path that happens in your brain, right?
Right.
And if you repeat that, that path gets very, very strong. Like that, if you
Right.
allow this overthinking, unconscious thinking go all the time, that forms their own paths.
Wow.
Yeah. There's so much knowledge now, both ancient and modern, about the mind, about our thinking, about our feelings, and all that, right? Once you understand that, even positive psychology that is developing now, that
Right.
reinforces on positivity. Like
Right.
before you to bed, right? Just think only positive, and
Right.
and then
Right.
sleep on it. In the morning, you will be very positive.
Right. Well, so is that tying into the subconscious mind?
Yes, it does. Because
Oh,
if you are thinking unconsciously, what happens is that thought doesn't have a complete career, complete path that it has to go through, and then
okay.
it will slip into the subconscious because you have never resolved it completely.
I
Suppose,
got you.
yeah,
Well,
suppose you are seeing a tree, for example, Tiffany, and the
right.
tree is very beautiful, and you focus on that, and then
Right.
you kind of consciously see it and let the experience completely come out and all that, right? Then
Right.
you will forget about it, come back. Otherwise, you just took a snap with your eyes and then you go into something else. That impression will go into your subconscious.
Well, I'm really getting into the understanding of how powerful the subconscious mind is and
Yes.
surrounding myself with the positivity,
Yeah.
um, positive thinking, and things like that. So,
Yeah.
this is a good topic of conversation.
Yeah. This is the happiness inside I'm talking about. Once you are clear and you don't really have unnecessary. It's like a we use our mind. Forgive me this expression, like a trash can. Put all sorts of junk in it, and then when it wants to come out, we want to resist it. So don't allow it to take root in you. That's the thing I'm talking about. So if you are really aware of what is going on within you, then you can slow the thoughts and you can follow one thought at a time and you can identify whether it's negative or positive. And then there is a technique called Pratipaksha Bhavana. That means cognitive reframing of the negative thought to the positive. Or see something around it. In any situation, we can see the positive around it, right? Some positive, simple thing.
Does that come from the Vedas?
Uh, no, it's a more like a Vedas. You mean Vedas? Vedas are the real understanding of a lot of things, but this is one of those things too, because they talked about uh, really imagining positive and reinforcing positive results in positive in your life too. But they go beyond the mind very significantly. That's why this awareness I'm talking about is very important.
Okay.
Very, very important. Because we are not aware. Like, for example, in the morning when you get up, what happens immediately? You are awake and you are aware. You don't have any thoughts yet. And suddenly, within a second or so, few seconds, one thought comes, and that thought leads to other thought, and the network happens. The healthy way is to how much time you can keep that thought at bay and be in that awareness. One technique I teach people is just to look out the window and establish a relationship with your nature that is around you. Live things, right? The trees, the wind, the light, all those things are coming at you. You can be with them instead of describing or saying something. Just be with them, and then pay attention to the live beings around you, your spouse, your kids, or your whoever, pets or plants, and all those things are there, right? So,
Right.
not allowing the thought come through and take over is the key.
Okay.
What is happening in modern life is we have so much information overload, so we think all the time. We never give the
Right.
rest, right? So what I'm saying is shut it off completely, give it some rest, and try this in the morning. That's the most important. Right after you wake up, Tiffany, 1 hour that your nervous system is very vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
So if you can do the delaying of these thoughts coming in, you are
Right.
better off. You are better off. So,
So would you recommend like meditation first thing in the morning?
yeah, more like being aware, and then that leads to the meditation. Because in my yoga practice, wellness club I have, right? People come and do that with me. What I do with them is that 1 hour, I tell them, be here and now. Focus on
Mm-hmm.
whatever you are doing. Be in the present, right? And that means be aware of what is happening with you and around you, and don't go on thinking about all the things. At least this 1 hour. That training really helps them to really be, because I'm there, I'm being in the present. Because I don't even do small talk. I tell them, let's focus on whatever we are doing, complete focus on that. We are doing a posture, focus on that. Focus on the tension you feel in the body. Focus on the pain you feel, all those things, right? That's called Swa Adhyaya, self. That means you are here in this movement, what's happening with your body, with your breath, with your awareness and all. Once you
Right.
practice, now that is like a meditative exercise, right? And then you do the breathing. Then at the end, I introduce them how to be completely absorbed in that meditation. And when they wake up, when they really come out of it, they will feel very refreshed because they are not wasting their energy in multiple thoughts, and they are in the energy of awareness.
Right. Right. Yeah, I have found meditation to be incredibly um, beneficial.
Very important. Yeah, very important.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I recommend people to find a way, at the same time, all the time. Don't have any distractions. Close your eyes and then focus on the breath. And if the thoughts go away, bring it back. And or if you have some word you want to say, that is fine too. But for me, that was old story. That's like a long time ago. Now I don't have to sit down and meditate. I am in meditativeness all the time. That is also possible. You see, it's like you don't have unconscious thoughts coming up, but you have deliberate thoughts about things, and then you focus on that and you complete it. Otherwise, you are, in awareness where there is no thought. This is called choiceless awareness is your real thing, and that is thoughtless. Be in that and then use the instrument of thought when you want it. So it sounds very difficult. It's not really. Once you understand, it becomes natural to be quiet and peaceful.
That's so wonderful, Dr. Rao.
Yeah, anybody can do that. There was one student. She was telling me earlier yesterday. I think she said, "Doctor, I'm doing the yoga with you. My mind has really quieted down, and now I'm kind of sometimes I feel like, oh, what is this kindness? I'm just weird." But then she's very appreciative. I taught her a technique. Suppose you become angry, right? Don't allow the anger take over you, but just observe that. Be in awareness of the anger itself, and you find the anger subsides. The same thing with fear, all those things. Because most of the time we are not aware, we give into that feeling, and then that runs its course. It builds on itself, right? So it's not that it's bad to feel the fear or anger. You can, but you don't have to give into it completely. That's what it is. Then things happen, but you won't react to it. You respond to it. Somebody is, before I used to be irritated by some nurse making a mistake, for example, right?
Right.
Now I don't react like that at all. I want to listen what happened. I want to understand what happened. Suppose she needs a lesson, I will tell her nicely. But if she doesn't need a lesson, something overlooked, then I will uh, let it go, because I'm not reacting emotionally and shouting at her, but I'm responding to the situation. That happens quite often. So in the morning, what you are saying, like first 1 hour, just be, don't have any devices, put the phone away, put the email away, put the TV and all that. But then just see what is happening within you and outside you. And suppose um, you wake up and you find it is downpouring and a lot of rain is happening. What you can see is see how you are reacting. A lot of people will be cursing the rain and really get irritated, and then they get out the day very wrongly sometimes, right? That kind of things. The more we are aware of it, the less it happens. For you, for the Lyme disease and all that, this awareness-based meditation practices are going to be very good for you. You know, so basically, if you are thinking a lot, you can also provoke stress hormones quite a lot. Like, yeah, suppose you are very irritated and also angry, anxious, and also at the same time depressed, and also you are having a lot of fear associated with it. All these the negative emotions will provoke the negative hormones, and they are feed on themselves. They become much worse. So realized people who are really understand what is being and need to be in the being, they don't have this superficial movement of thought. So that's why they don't have this movement of all these hormones. And that's why they are inherently very healthy and live longer too because of that.
Who was this now?
These rishis and munis and yogis who do that meditation, they keep their mind always quiet and calm.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Yeah, so you're recommending the meditation
Yeah.
and I'll quiet my mind.
I'm recommending more like a monk-like mind, non-reactive awareness, fill mind that it doesn't have this unconscious thought. As I told you,
Right.
I don't have to do meditation because I don't have many thoughts going like that. Is it?
Well, yeah, and there's so much inflammation that comes in the
Yeah,
brain
yeah,
from this stuff. So the meditation helps for sure because
definitely.
the inflammation puts us in that fight or flight mode.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. The sympathetic system that is activated, the fight or flight one, that is nullified in the morning if you do deep breathing, because you are going against the sympathetic nervous system and towards the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerve. And that is a very rest and digest system. It's not a fight or flight. Fight or flight is a sympathetic. So we don't want to react and activate the sympathetic nervous system and then feeds on itself, right? But some people have these reactions without even knowing that, but slow practice of deep breathing for a long time, it will relax your vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system that acts against this fight or flight syndrome. So that is also, you are quiet and happy because you are not really agitated or anxious. So you are having happiness experience within you.
When are you posting your meditation again? Don't you do it on Saturday mornings?
No, I do it, but I'm doing it on the Zoom for the people who are invited or who are there's a wellness club. The people take a subscription and come there. So I'm doing it with them, and they interact and all that. I was doing by myself. Other people are doing it, but I was not having interactions at all online. That's why I switched to Zoom. And then Zoom also, I want to send an invitation only the people who are interested who want to do that. So I'm sending that.
Right.
It never stopped. Only thing is, what I do, how much I allow the stream, that has changed. You know, but my talks are there all the time.
How do we sign up for your wellness club, Dr. Rao?
Oh, very simple. Go to my website, bapal.net slash register. There's a register. Once you go there, you will see the wellness club. You just click on it, and then you will be sent the Zoom link.
Okay.
There is a lot happens in the wellness club. One thing is I can come live and do the exercise with them, and also because I'm seeing them, I can see what they are doing is this right or not. And I have to, explain to them that
Right.
they have rapid progress because when they come, I ask them, what is that? Like for example, you were talking about Lyme disease, right? Understanding what you have, what you need is very, very important. You know, so I really enjoy that interaction. I was with my patients like that, right? I always saw them and spent time with them, understood them, and that way there's a partnership that happens between them and me, so that I can help them with the problems much easier. And if the yoga is a little bit deeper, so people come with the different needs, and some people want to just to have the physical things go away. Some people want mentally they want to improve. Some people want much deeper issues. Some people just lost somebody because of COVID or something, grief,
Yeah.
anxious, so many things, right? So we cannot say one thing for everybody. You got to customize according to what they can do. So when I see them, I can tell them immediately. I can protect them from the injury and also help them achieve their goals much faster. You know, if I just do it by myself, if they're doing on Instagram, I can't see them. They will see me, but I don't know what is happening with them. I don't even know they have completed the entire thing or not. This way, I do every day, not even Saturday, Sunday. I do every day. So actually, it helps my energy, boost it up right away. you know. So I'm always pumped up. So I do it in the morning and in the evening too. And whoever comes, I kind of slow down or pace myself much faster if I can do both ways. So my main thing is how can I help this person reach their goals? That's why the Zoom is working better. I think you should come in. There is another thing too. There is a Facebook club privately for them. And a lot of other people coming too. But these people can come there and post some questions to me and then get answers, or I can come live and talk to them. That was very interactive. I like that way.
Right. So is it the Dr. Rao's Wellness Club membership.
Yeah,
Is that what we need to look for?
yeah,
Okay.
that's the one. That's the one. And then that's actually people are reporting me the good effects after a couple of months of training, and I was very happy that they have achieved those goals.
So how often do you guys meet, Dr. Rao?
Every day morning, every day evening.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes I love it. I kind of it's like a lifestyle for me. So whatever the things are there, I'll get them done. But I will definitely make sure I'm available to them because some people cannot get up in the morning, but I get up
Right.
at 3:30, 4 o'clock. So 6 o'clock is a way back for me. I have done a lot of things by the time, and then I will also do that too.
So what time in the morning and what time in the evening do you guys do the meditation?
Uh, it's the end of that hour I instruct them, and then after that they can practice at home too, but then what I show them is in the morning and in the evening at the end of the hour. Say first we do the stretches and asanas, and then a lot of breathing happens there, and then formal breathing like a 10 different breathing techniques I show them, and I ease them into that, and then at the end of it, we do this kind of meditative practice for them. I don't have to do it for myself, but I show them how to do that.
Is there a particular time that you guys meet every day?
Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 or 7 in the evening,
Wow. Okay.
Central Time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fabulous,
Yeah, I think we
to
can work
actually
on that
find that.
lime a little better. Whatever you are doing is very good, but you can amplify that effect that you are trying to achieve.
Right.
Let's see, Kyle is here. Hi, Kyle. How are you? Uh, I think your voice is a little low, Kyle. Can you speak into the microphone? Yeah. Yeah, it's better now. Okay. Oh, Tiffany has been with me for a long time, and she used to come to the evening rooms I used to do. But because I'm a doctor and all that, sometimes a lot of time goes to that. And I have been active on the Wisdom app, where I like one-on-one interaction with the speakers, and also for a long time we can talk. So that took its own time. Now I'm combining both of them so that Clubhouse friends also can join me, and I can also have conversations with them. That's why I am going to include this from every day. These days, the rooms are happening at 7 o'clock in the morning and around 7 in the evening too, so that all the in between time I may carry the phone and participate once in a while, but most of them in the work and I'm not able to participate. But these are allotted rooms and time, so they are working out better. So you can see me in the morning and in the evening on the clubhouse now. Sure, sure. I mean, a lot of people know me on the clubhouse too, but then if you don't come for a long time, people will not know about you. But then, see, a lot of this ancient wisdom, Kyle, uh, I found them very helpful for our friends who are stressed out or burnt out. You know, we don't have to adopt another religion or anything like that. I'm not into that, but I want to understand the wisdom of every religion and bring the hacks into our modern challenges. Actually, there was an invitation the other day. The worker called me to talk exactly on that topic. Yeah, ancient wisdom for modern challenges for the corporate people, So I came and talked to them one morning, and that was I enjoyed that very much because that's very relevant and very much I think practical if you really understand what it is. It's not about convincing people; it's about lessening the suffering. That's my goal because everybody is knowledgeable in their own way, but how do we bring that in a modern context? Like Tiffany was talking about Lyme disease, and I have worked with a lot of Lyme disease people, but it's a combination of both work better for them. One friend of mine, he is that big job provider. I don't remember that name now, but he's a big one, right? I met him in HIMSS conference, and he's among 500 people, but somehow we ended up to strike a conversation, and he was suffering from Lyme disease for a long time. So I mentioned a couple of things, and immediately he got hold of me, and then we kind of online discussion, and I was able to show him some hacks of ancient wisdom, which helped him quite a lot. So it's not a question of labeling them; it's a question of what is the human experience that has found true wisdom. That's my focus. So I don't call it anymore East and Western because we are all in one boat. So maybe times are different. So yeah. So that's why I always focus on the. Um, I don't want people to suffer, but there are solutions. Sometimes they may not be paying attention to that, right? But then a lot of people have their own hang-ups, beliefs, and own conclusions, and all the thought patterns, feelings, all those things are there. So it's better for people to come and ask their question then, if we really have read something about that, we can present. Like Tiffany was talking about energy, and then we were able to discuss energy a little bit, and that directly leads to inner happiness. So I'm glad that Tiffany is getting that energy treatments, but we can augment that by understanding what is energy. For example, in pranayama, right? That is the breathing exercise name in yoga. Prana is that universal life-giving energy, and it comes into your being. And ayama is it extends your life. you know so you want to take a deep, deliberate, slow breath, and then being reverent to that life energy that is coming into you. It's not just the air, it's the life energy. That's called kumbha nadi. So it comes through that nadi and then maintains our life. The moment it stops, we are dead, right? So that kind of thing. But then while um, alive, how much we know about how to breathe properly, how to sustain that properly, and how to let it go. All these things can be consciously done or unconsciously done. The more you bring conscious breath into your life, deeper breath, the diaphragmatic breath, the more energy you will have, and also the longevity of life. And this is not like a somebody says so. It's scientifically you can see that. It's very simple, right? Yeah.
to this project. So
Sure.
chat another time. I do have to get going.
Yeah.
I love the both of you.
Yeah, Kyle, we can talk offline and then we can plan something and we'll do it together. Definitely, I will. Yeah.
Yeah, and my friend is a physician as well, so
Okay.
I think you guys will connect that way. So I'll reach out to you sometime.
Yeah.
Next week.
Very
That's
good.
okay.
Very good, Kyle. I'll be happy to collaborate and then share and then have a good time with you guys.
Perfect. Yeah, you're amazing. And Tiffany, I can't wait. I'm sure we'll still follow you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna double check. No, I'm reaching the limit, and we will make sure to follow you next time we cross paths. And
Yeah.
thank you so much, Dr. Rad, for having these rooms.
Sure.
Let's get you more heard around the world as much as possible.
Okay. Thank you, Kyle. Bye. So, Tiffany, anything else you want to talk about?
No, Dr. Riley, it's been wonderful. It's been a great conversation.
Yeah.
I may join your club and come to these daily meditations.
Yeah, I'll be happy to see you there because we can work on some things. From what you told me, we have to go deeper into that. And then there was a routine that will be good for you. You can do the home practice and all that much more better, and then you can have this much easier. Okay, so anybody else has any questions? Or I think it's almost 1 hour. I usually start at 7, but today I started 6:30 because I want to go somewhere after this. So I will stop here and then I will see you back again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock for these rooms. Okay? I'm going to involve the clubhouse also, so a lot of people who are looking for me can find me then. Okay. Okay, Tiffany.
Dr. Rao, thank you.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then.